There was a technical glitch which took us some time. As usual, we have from the management, we have with us Mr. R. Mahesh Kumar, Managing Director, Mr. S.L. Narayanan, Group CFO, and Mr. V.C. Unnikrishnan, CFO. SL, will you like to add any opening remarks for the Q2 or H1 performance, or should we directly go into the Q&A?
I think in the interest of preempting several questions, I'll start with a very brief introduction because it will help us set the context.
Sure.
Should I start?
Yeah, SL, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, good evening, all friends, wherever you are. And before we start the Q&A, I just want to tell you that there's been a considerable, progress in terms of the recovery in the overall market. As you have seen, the degrowth, which was 60% plus in the June quarter, has reduced to about 25-26% in the most recent quarter. Subscription revenues continues to be strong, and we have almost come to near normal in production of all serials. The good news is movie theaters are opening up in a phased manner. We are, now stepping up the level of activity in both content as well as movie production. The other good news is we have had the IPL in this year. Earlier, we thought that will not happen. The IPL season has concluded fairly well, and we have finished in the top three. With that, we can only just add one note of caution. We're still not completely out of the woods. Ad revenue market is still, a bit of an uncertain game, but considerably better prospects in Q3 as compared to Q2. But we still hold the view that this year we will post a degrowth in advertising. It is too early. There's a lot of optimism all around. People think that everything is behind us. Moody's has now upgraded the forecast in terms of GDP prospects. We don't share that optimism as yet. So whatever numbers that we discuss later today, I just want to underline that ad revenues this year will be a challenge to post any meaningful growth. Over to you, Ankur.
Neeraj, can we open for Q&A, please?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one. First question is from the line of Venkatesh from Logic Tree. Please go ahead.
Hi, Mr. SL. Good evening. Congratulations on an excellent set of numbers. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, thanks, Venkatesh.
Okay, thanks. I wish you a very happy Deepavali and to everyone. Just two questions, sir. One is in terms of the business that we see in Q2, obviously a very good set of numbers. Do you think, I know, despite your warnings, do you think we can actually kind of extrapolate Q2 numbers into the next 4 quarters? Question one. And number two, we were also, I think you had indicated that we would probably, considering the cash reserves are adding up, we will consider some sort of a buyback in the near future. Is that still on the plan?
Let me deal with the second question first. We have always told the markets and our investors that we will distribute the cash which is surplus to operations. So that policy still continues. It's very difficult for us to say anything on buyback because none of us will be able to individually deal with these questions. But at an appropriate time, whatever is the methodology, the board will adopt. You're right, we have carried a lot of cash on the balance sheet, and we will we will address to right size the equity. And on the first part of the question, I'll ask Mahesh to answer.
Yeah. So I think with reference to ad revenue, we have seen some sharp recovery. So if you look at progressively for this quarter, I think in the month of October, we have seen close to 80+% of pre-COVID levels, and we are seeing really encouraging trends for this festive. Like what SL mentioned, we hope that this optimism continues. But I think we are tracking very well as of now.
Okay. Right. So we are looking for actually after we see traction in the next couple of quarters, we probably could be able to state with some certainty how the future looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in a relative sense, I think we should see some better numbers as we go forward. Like if you look at on a month-on-month basis, we are seeing very good traction and improvement in the fill levels, and festive seems to be very, very optimistic and bullish.
Right. So we are already on November 12th. How does considering that the last quarter has gone by, how October and November how has it panned out, sir?
Much better.
Much better. Okay. That is good, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one. Next question is from the line of Vivekanand Subramaniam from Ambit Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Couple of questions. One, if you could help us with the split of the revenue as well as the breakup of depreciation and amortization.
Yeah, advertisement and broadcast together is 245 crores. International revenue is around 37 crores. Pay channel and digital is 195 crores. DTH is 232 crores. IPL is 45, and the remaining 2 crores is the others. And as regards depreciation amortization, depreciation is 22 crores, amortization is 69 crores.
Okay. Sir, my other question was with respect to the subscription revenue outlook. So within that, your peers seem to be suggesting that the implementation of NTO 2.0 is posing a challenge as far as monetization is concerned. So if you could help us with your perspective on the implementation of NTO 2.0 and related note on subscription is a couple of distributors from who are in trouble. They have been delaying payments to one of your competitors. So, are you able to get the money from the distributors on time? And if not, any comments on how your trade terms are with the MSOs and DTH operators? Thank you.
We don't have any problem collecting money. In fact, our receivable days has actually come down this quarter. That said, we are also carrying some provisions as a measure of abundant caution. This quarter also we have set up some additional provisions for COVID, but we have absolutely no issue on the quality of receivables.
I think more specific, whether we have any challenge in terms of receivables from some of the big distribution companies. I think receivables for the distribution companies, especially DTH, is well within 90 days.
Okay. And sir, if you could help us with the provisions that you took in the quarter as far as the COVID-related expected losses, credit losses are concerned. Thank you.
About 9 crores we have set up as additional provisions.
Okay, and this was for collections from retail advertisers or was it for provisions for distributors?
It's an ad hoc provision kept more as a measure of conservatism. But that said, as Mr. Mahesh Kumar said, there is absolutely no issue on our quality of our receivables. We are tracking very, very, judiciously. Slightest sign of trouble. In fact, we did have some issues with 2 large DTH players, and we had to put them on notice and and then we were able to collect every penny.
Okay. And so if you would answer that question on NTO 2.0 impact.
NTO 2.0 is subject, as the argument before the Bombay High Court is over, the judgment is reserved. We have been mentioning and reiterating, especially Esther has been telling that with reference to NTO 2, our pricing, even if it is implemented, we will have literally no impact or very marginal impact. So I think NTO 2 is not a concern at all as far as subscription revenue is concerned.
Right. And sir, did I hear the number correctly? DTH revenue 292 crores?
Free channel 190, DTH 232.
Okay, but how much was that again? 232? Okay. So, sir, just to understand DTH revenue better, because last year also in the first half we were averaging around 230 crores a quarter, and that dipped a bit in second half. So what are your thoughts on the DTH revenue stagnating, and probably that is there some impact of churn in DTH or is there pricing pressure? Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, see, earlier, we didn't have much of a problem, and we were selling it in terms of bouquets, and we were pricing it as a bouquet. And with NTO, it created a huge disruption because they forced us to price every channel. We had to price it accordingly to protect the erstwhile ARPUs. And which is why everything, went into a different pattern. You're right that it may seem like, DTH revenues have stagnated, but if you see the overall revenues, we are still growing at about 13.5%, 14%, because there is some kind of a swing that's happening because some people are now taking fewer channels. Some people are not taking additional languages because of the way the whole pricing mechanism has been revamped. So what we are now concerned about is we should be able to protect a certain ARPU from the subscriber. As long as that is coming, we should be happy. So that's how, we have revamped our pricing. So as a result of which our ARPU from cables has slightly gone up, whereas ARPU from DTH has gone down. And within DTH, there was a lot of homogeneity in terms of the pricing pattern. And that's got completely changed because today there are as many packages as there are customers, because the element of a la carte has completely changed the mix in terms of the revenue character. So it will be very difficult for us to give any kind of specific clarification on which way it is tracking. So we are only looking at overall growth in revenues, because earlier some of the deals were also based on minimum guarantee. I mean, irrespective of the number of subscribers, we were getting a certain assured sum from some of the large DTH players, and that's also got changed now.
Right. No, this commentary was very helpful. Thank you very much. I'll come back in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Anyone who wishes to ask the question, you may press star and one. Next question is from the line of Sanjesh Jain from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and thanks for the opportunities. Couple of questions from my side. First, on this revenue from subscription, it looks like it has come down quarter on quarter, though we have grown it annually. Any particular reason? Because I thought last quarter we were impacted from some of the cable guys switching off the office setup and all. But for any particular reason why sequentially the subscription revenue has come down?
Sanjay, we'll just come back to you in a while. If you have any other questions, you just tell us.
Oh, and I got the next question. Next question is more on the rating side, particularly on the Tamil GEC. Post the fresh programming has come out. It looks like our rating has been weakened, particularly on the prime time slots, which is. Can you give us some color? How do we think about content? How do we think about revamping, or are we thinking about refreshing the content? How do we plan to pull it back?
Yeah. So as we speak, we've launched 3 new primetime shows in Sun TV over the past 2 weeks. The ratings are out today for all the 3 shows. Every single slot has actually grown from average 30% to 50%. So basically, I think we are completely rejigging our FTP, and we are very confident that we will bounce back to close to 45 to 50% viewership share. So you will see this, improvement in the numbers in the next couple of weeks. And we also have very strong pipeline. So any show which is below a certain threshold in terms of the viewership share will be removed, and we will be replacing with some good content.
Also, we didn't want to launch these when IPL was in full blast. It would have been a completely, a wasted effort, because anyway there's so much of viewership that's taken away by IPL. So we timed it for the IPL to be, reaching its close, which is why we delayed the launch also.
And to answer your question, we had monetization of some digital rights of movies during the last quarter, which is of a few movies. So that's why you had an incremental drop, June versus September.
See, what we do is we have an opportunity coming from time to time when some of the other digital players want to buy our rights. So because of the heightened demand for content during the lockdown, we had those opportunities and we were able to sell that. So there is about a small amount which went into that number. This quarter we didn't have that.
Okay. So that's recorded in the subscription revenue.
Correct.
Okay. Just want to understand how are we, or where are we in terms of production for spending on our OTT platform Sunnext, which we have outlined that we are going to spend around 1.5 billion rupees. Where are we in terms of that spend, and how should we look at that?
See, that plan is very much alive. If anything, it will be increased further. But at this point in time, we are concentrating on finishing off our plans for movies. We have actually during the lockdown produced a movie for the Diwali release, which is premiering in a couple of days from now. Other than that, we have 8 movies under production. So all these things will come one by one now that the lockdown situation has considerably eased. In fact, each one of them is a blockbuster, starting with Rajinikanth, and then with Dhanush and Surya, Vijay. I mean, these are absolute, sure shot blockbuster hits. There are 8 of them in a line. So we will have our hands full. This is not to say that we won't invest in web series originals. That is also simultaneously is happening. But our priority now is to get these movies off the block before we get into full-fledged launches in web series.
So, by what time do we expect these 8 movies to be released?
That will happen between Pongal and next Diwali.
Okay. So over next 12 months, we will have at least 8 movies releases.
We'll have at least 8 movies. There is another movie which is premiering in Sun TV this Diwali. That is a small budget movie, but it is based on a Kannada hit movie remade in Tamil with a highly successful director. So that is something that we shot in a hurry because it was also a low budget movie and we needed something for Diwali because Sun TV is always known for its premieres on festival days. But other than that, there are 8 movies in the pipeline.
Got it. Just one follow-up question on the TV content, particularly on Tamil side. Are we planning to move entire inventory on our own production rather than the older model of private producers?
Yeah, now we have very, very limited private producer slots. Like I said, these 3 new shows we launched, actually we have removed 2 more private producer slots. So which will also enabling us to basically increase our spend in terms of quality, production value, etc. So we will be over a period of time just moving out of the private producers and just trying to raise our.
I think almost 80% is commission now. Only 20% is private producers. 80% of the Tamil production is now in-house.
Got it. Just last one question, if I may. I was just thinking about your guidance for the full year, where we were thinking about 15 to 16% advertisement revenue decline for FY21, which I know gave it in FY21. It was very early days. Do we want to revisit that estimates?
I don't think we want to say anything at this point in time because it is a very uncertain world. I hope things are behind us and things have really gotten better. See, as Mr. Mahesh just said, the festival demand has been pretty satisfying. I hope we are, as a country, out of all the difficulties and we can look forward to some growth. So let's just keep our fingers crossed, and our job is to somehow, bring back the mojo and bring back the growth. So whether it is through advertising or through IPL or through subscription, we want to deliver some meaningful, growth in profits. So that's what we are focused on now.
Fair, sir. Fair. Thank you and best wishes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from Lakshmi Narayan from ICICI Asset Management. Please go ahead. Sir, sorry to interrupt you. May I request you to speak through the handset, please? You're sounding too distant from the phone.
Better now?
No, sir.
Not so clear, but say something again.
Yeah, is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah. So you mentioned these 8 movies. These are going to be exclusively on Sun Next, or is it going to be the movie production you talked about in here?
See, our content will always premiere on Sun TV first. And they will also, in some cases, simultaneously premiere on Sun Next. But whether we do this in every case or whether we will do it some through theatre and some through, that's all our question, because at the end of the day, our job is to realize value from every possible source of distribution. So, but the thing is, in the movie production business, our objective is always to, recover our production costs with a slender margin. Like in the past also, if we spent 85 crores on a movie, we sold it for something like 100 or 102 crores. And then we retain the satellite rights and the digital rights. So we spend about 4-5 months, we recover this investment, make a decent return on investment, and then keep the rights, which is carried in books for free. Because once you recovered your cost, you can use it for multiple number of screenings, whether on TV or on Sun Next. And very often, because we put some nice movies on Sun Next, every time we premiere some nice movies, we see a spike in the number of subscribers. So we will use all these things judiciously to ensure that we maximize the value. So to answer your question, if the situation demands, we may do a simultaneous release also. I don't know at this point in time.
Got it. No, because of, are you releasing your movies in your digital platform and your Sun TV instead of going to the cinema theatre route? Is the question.
No, see, the thing is, a lot of people, in fact, some of the movies that have premiered exclusively on OTT, they've not got the requisite response. Like if you buy a movie for 100 crores and you put it on an OTT platform and you get just 10,000 additional subscribers, it may not be a very sensible thing to do. Whereas in every case, and there is, in my mind, there's a huge pent-up demand for theatrical experiences because we do believe that once the theaters go back to near normalcy, I think same time next year, this whole thing will be a distant memory. People may just go back to, I mean, it's already happening 2 days back in one of our very busy shopping areas in T Nagar, in Chennai. I mean, it seemed like, coronavirus has gone away from this country because people are literally packed like sardines in that street and shopping. So my gut feel is, the theatrical business will come back and people will go back to multiplexes to get that same experience. Because that is certainly something that will not go away in a hurry. But if it does, and if we find that, everybody is now wanting to watch it on a big TV inside their living room and everybody is scared of going out, we may have to flip our strategy.
Got it. And the second question is that in terms of your volume of prime time advertisement, and typically in Tamil and Telugu, how the volume is trending, and what is the mix of regional and national advertising in these? Is it changed or materially, or how is it? What is the number?
So, like I said in the past, during the last 2 months, especially the festive months, I think the inventory is literally going full. Secondly, in terms of the mix, we are seeing more of national advertisers, especially FMCG, over 65%, and regional is close to 5% now. And we expect this mix could change as and when the unlock situation eases and people are more freely able to go and shop. So I think we will see some changes happening over the next couple of months, but now it's dominated by the national advertisers.
Okay, so 65% national and 5%,
No, 65% is 95% national, 65% FMCG, 5% retail.
Okay, so the small things like the regional oil advertisements and those things you're counting as regional.
Yes.
See, earlier almost 33% used to be regional. Now that number is down to 5%.
Yes.
Got it. And in terms of the minutes, right? You mentioned that your the interspersing minutes between these prime time was high, and then you reduced. What are you running right here on average at least in Sun TV?
I'm not able to understand your question.
No, the minutes of advertising, what was it in Q1 broadly? You take any prime time thing. How is it trending? Because in the previous call you mentioned that it was around 18 minutes or so that has come down, right?
No. We always used to do 16 minutes, which we brought it down to 12 minutes. Now, in the last 2 months, we are doing 14 minutes.
Got it. Okay. And one last question on Sun Next, right? How many paid, what kind of subscription, how many app downloads you have, and what is how many are subscribed now? That 500 rupees per year or something, right? So
we have about 18 million active users, but bulk of it is on the back of our tie-ups with other players. Pure organic subscription is a fraction of this number.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ladies. Next question is from Alankar Garude from Macquarie Group. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. Sir, on Sun Next, would it be fair to say that production of original shows will start now, perhaps only in the first half of FY22? when we have more visibility on the production of the 8 movies?
I'm not able to tell you when we will start because at this point in time we are engaged with a lot of independent producers for Sun Next. We could start as early as January next year.
Understood. Sir, and on that, if you could throw some light on how exactly are we planning to do it? I mean, will we be focusing on Tamil maybe to start with and then have presence across the other 4 languages, or you want to start off directly with content across all the 5 languages?
We'll start first with Tamil and Telugu and look at other 3 languages in a phased manner. But Tamil and Telugu will be priority because if you look at the South Indian diaspora, one of the biggest markets is both Tamil and Telugu.
Understood, sir. So second question, as far as the product development of Sun Next is concerned, so how is it now? Is it largely outsourced, and can we expect some increase in the technology cost or maybe even the marketing cost once we look to launch the originals?
See, one thing that we have done is we've kept costs on a tight leash. We have not gone overboard and spent an arm and a leg on subscriber acquisition. So we are actually making a decent margin on our Sun Next operation. And that's because, we are not expensing any new content on account of Sun Next, because it's basically using the existing shows of Sun TV and the existing film library of Sun TV. And we've been able to now reach a fairly significant monthly run rate on revenue. So it's now possible for us to invest up to 200 crores a year on content exclusively for Sun Next without reporting a loss on OTT operations. That confidence we now have because that's the kind of numbers that we are, generating. But it's definitely going to cost a lot more once we go whole hog, because definitely our marketing costs will go up, subscriber acquisition costs will go up, and our CDN costs, the content delivery costs, will also go up once the traffic increases. But this is the future. We are extremely cognizant of the need for investments in this area. And we will definitely start, investing money in OTT. But as I said, at this point in time, we're just coming out of the lockdown situation. There's a lot happening in terms of revamping existing content, resumption of movies which were work in progress. So we just have to make sure that in terms of prioritization, we get rid of all the unfinished work before we focus energies on OTT.
Fair enough, sir. So one follow-up to that. So very broadly, if we do say 200 crores of content spends on Sun Next, for some of these other costs like CDN or maybe marketing, any ballpark number which you can share, which would be over and above, say, that 200 crores of spends if we do that once we go the whole hog?
I am not able to offhand recall because, we've also have a lot of, costs which are related to digital marketing, social media, and then, we have some outsourced costs for maintenance of the platform. Then we have data analytics. So all this is something which will add up to a significant number, but offline we can share you some details.
Okay, sir. And one last question, if I may, on IPL, any color on this season's profitability? Because I think last season our revenue share was slightly lower. So any thoughts there?
See, we don't know as yet because BCCI has to advise us what is the distribution. At this point in time, we don't have full details on what. So we've done some best case estimate because only 3 matches were played out of the total 14. So we've taken a very conservative view and accrued some revenues and accrued some costs. But we will know for sure in the next month or so, because the final numbers will come from BCCI. But this year is going to be a bit of disappointment because, as you know, the title sponsor was changed, and that itself will cost each team about 12.75 crores, because from 440 crores, which was Vivo, is down to some 220 crores by Dream11. So since 45% of the amount is distributed, so it translates to about 13 crores or less for every team. So there will be, and then we have additional costs because it happened in UAE. So people had to fly there in more expensive hotels as compared to Indian hotels. So, and then we didn't have ticket sales. Ticket sales itself will cost us about 25 to 30 crores. So the profit number will be substantially lower than last year.
That's helpful, sir. Thanks and all the best.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Next participant is Kunal Vora from BNP Paribas. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity, sir. On advertisement, why not very optimistic? Is it just because of the full year, or you're thinking even second half might not be very good, because almost every consumer company has been talking about fairly strong growth and that continuing, and some are talking about increasing their ad spend. Is it because of regional? Like you mentioned regional is not doing well and contribution has gone down. Is that the main reason, or why you just not optimistic on that part?
Kunal, if I may be a bit tongue-in-cheek, we don't know which way the world is going these days, which is why, we are terrified of giving any kind of confident assessment. As Mahesh just mentioned, definitely it's looking better, and there is, in fact, he's saying inventories are going full up. But then we are still cautiously optimistic. We don't want to give any kind of, we don't want to oversell the story, that's all. But you're absolutely right. Definitely advertisers are back, and there is demand, and there is a lot of, subsidiary evidence to show that, some sectors, they're actually seeing year-on-year growth as compared to the last festival season, and which is good for advertisers, for media companies like us. I'll ask Mahesh to answer this.
No, I completely second what Esther is saying. I think we are just trying to be more cautious. Otherwise, I think this festival has been more or less similar to what it was pre-COVID or what it was last year. I think we are more or less in line with the revenues on a per day basis. We are tracking similar to what we have been doing for the previous year. And we just hope that, this momentum continues. We will be in sync with the market. If there are, opportunities or advertisers in the market, we will be the first to grab. So I think we are just trying to be cautious. We hope that this momentum continues post-festive. So, otherwise I think we will be more or less tracking in line with the industry and with the market.
Sure. The second one on OTT revenue, any progress on signing up deals with more telecom operators? I understand that you are looking to sign one more deal. You also had some renewals coming up in OTT side. Any color which you can provide on how the OTT revenue will track from here?
The OTT revenues will definitely be, it will continue to grow. You're absolutely right. A lot of people are in the market for content. And since we are sitting on a lot of content, people are willing to pay a good price. And increasingly, we will also start billing them on a per subscriber basis. We were working on flat fee deals. And as the subscriber base went up with our customers, we were able to get better ones. But now, gradually, we will be, flipping that model into a per subscriber basis. So I don't want to give any specific estimates now on OTT, but it will be one of the fastest growing legs of our subscription business.
Okay. And on subscription, excluding the OTT part, if I look at cable and DTH, do you see that growing at double digits? Is that possible, or the expectations need to be moderate going forward of maybe high single digits? So excluding the digital part.
Cable may not grow a double digit in the foreseeable future, but I think DTH still has some steam left because we are still seeing tremendous demand for our boxes, And with every, in fact, I'm saying this because we know what's happening in our sister company, Sundirect. So we also get some, market intelligence. I think at least for another year, we should be able to post a double-digit growth because there is certainly that demand, and we are getting ready with imports of set-top boxes and all that. So I would say that subscription business should grow at double-digit, even excluding the OTT part.
Okay. That's very helpful. And lastly, on competition.
No, the other thing, Kunal, I forgot to mention, the most important thing is the content in India is perhaps the cheapest in the world. I don't think any other place you will get a bouquet of, a GEC, a movie channel, a music channel, a news channel, and a specialty movie channel, and a comedy channel for something like 50 cents. It's amazing that, with this kind of pricing, we are running a ship which is so profitable. So I do believe that at some point, and really my personal view is this should be left to free pricing because, we are now living in an India where prices of onions and tomatoes have been decontrolled. It doesn't make any sense to put the pricing control on cost of entertainment. And nowhere in the world there is any price control.
Sure. Noted. And lastly, on OTT, it looks like you're a little slow in terms of investment there, while competition like Star and Zee are already investing. Is there any medium-term disadvantage of being a little late in terms of OTT investment?
I don't think so. See, the thing is, sometimes, being too early in the business also might actually turn out to be a disadvantage. We certainly don't think we've been anyway handicapped because if you look at our numbers, we are still delivering better than market numbers in terms of profitability and cash flows. We will certainly, step up the investments. But as I said, this last 6-7 months turned out to be a bit of an unprecedented hurdle. And as I said earlier in the call, we would like to finish up the pending projects, especially the movies. All of them are big budget movies and they're stuck halfway. So once that is done, we will, and also right now we're also revamping the content for the mainstay TV shows. We want to get the ratings back up. And OTT we will certainly, focus on in the next couple of months.
But why is the OTT taking a backseat against the television content and movies? Why can't you just do simultaneously? Because OTT has been a priority for some time, right? No.
See, the thing is, OTT, programming is of a different class altogether. What we show on a TV channel is of a completely different character because the audiences served are different. Like some of the stuff that is produced for OTT may not be, feasible for a middle class home in rural Tamil Nadu where people sit together and watch. This is a slightly different audience, and that audience is younger and smaller and growing faster. So that is a completely different breed of audience, and the content strategy has to be tailor-made for that.
Just to add to that, basically, if you look at the South regional market, it's completely driven by movies, and it is not so much of originals because the pricing of the market is not as big as what the Hindi market is. And if you look at some of the competitors like Amazon, Netflix, they are actually into buying movies to cater to this sector or this region. So which we are also doing. We are actually doing some 40-50 movie titles exclusive for OTT. And when the overall universe grows and when there is a right opportunity, I think we will be very closely looking at also producing the originals.
Understood. That's very helpful. Thanks, and that's from my side.
Thank you very much. Next question is from Rohit Dokania from DAM Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. I just had two questions. One is for only if you can talk about sort of the full year film satellite amortization, that we are expecting in this year. I think the last number was closer to 300 crores that we had discussed.
Yeah, we think.
So it should be in that range.
Theaters have opened up only now, and sure. I don't think any theaters have opened up only on November 10th, and we don't, as we talk now, there are not much of movies scheduled during the current quarter. So possibly by Pongal, if one or two big movies come in, then the numbers could change.
Sure, understood. And the last one for SL, so SL somehow, it does appear that, we are a bit slow, and it also does appear in terms of the OTT, sort of launching original programming on OTT. If I'm not wrong, 2 years back in the Q2FY21 call, you had said that, we have finalized some projects for original programming on OTT, and, somehow still there has been absolutely no original programming released. Could you at least tell us that, by when should we expect, let's say, the first original to release? Could it be sometime in, let's say, Q1, Q2, sort of next fiscal, or when should we really expect? Yeah.
Q1, Q2 next fiscal should be a decent timeline, because I think we will start pretty soon and take some time before, it premieres. So Q1, Q2 next fiscal should be a good time.
Sure, sir. I think the market will probably hold on to it to you.
No, but the thing is, end of the day, we are also very mindful of the fact that there should be a business case for this, which is why we didn't plunge into this, because we should do something which is also financially, prudent. I mean, the easiest thing for us to do is to actually blow up money, but we are watching the space, and we will definitely, get into this, because we understand that this is the future. We need to have a feature-rich, program-rich OTT, which incidentally it has today. Otherwise, people are not going to pay us money for Sunnex, because as Mr. Mahesh Kumar just said, we are buying a lot of movie titles for Sunnex, and every time some movie premieres on Sunnex, we see some 40,000-50,000 new subscriptions coming in. And so we understand that, the more content you pack there, the better it is in terms of adding subscribers.
Sure.
So we will do this. Absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah. No, the only point is, we totally appreciate, the sort of medium to long term, you believe in that sort of, segment. But, as they say that, there is no long term without the short term. So I think, some sort of delivery, on the originals will also be very helpful. So that's the only comment I would make.
No, absolutely. Your point taken.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Shaw. Best.
Thank you. Next participant is Mayur from OM Portfolio. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I just wanted to understand a little bit more on the movies. 8 blockbusters. We didn't hear about this sometime back from your end. Is this a sudden development, or is this a bunch up that happened over the last couple of quarters?
No, we told you. The market knows about our Rajinikanth movie and our Vijay and Surya movie. And we have commissioned a few more. Shooting has not started, but a lot of preparatory work has happened.
Okay, because
like signing up the directors, music directors, paying them advances, blocking dates, that kind of stuff.
Okay, because usually we hear a few movies are always there, but 8 movies over the next 12 months is a big number, sir, and especially coming from your end, they're all blockbusters.
So, Mayur, I feel like some of them will start rolling, go on camera by beginning of Jan, and some may be into April. And like Esther was mentioning, we've done the preparatory work as of now. Rajinikanth movie, we have done up to a certain, almost 40-50% is done. The remaining shoot should happen before March or so.
Okay. Fair, sir. Thank you, and wishing you a very happy Diwali in advance.
Thank you.
Same to you, Mayur.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Anirudh VN. from Medicosmic Technologies. Please go ahead.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes,
very
audible. Go ahead.
Right. So two questions. One is I wanted to know if there are, does your ad segment revenue also recognize revenue from your, ads from, ad revenues from OTT platform? And also, I don't know if it is there or not. And going forward, do you think, ad revenues will be something substantial in OTT platforms to look forward to?
I have a feeling that OTT will actually be a pure play subscription model because nobody wants to pay money and also watch ads. Like if you see Netflix, there are no ads, but they get top dollar pricing. So my gut feel tells me, today it's not possible in India because we can't get Netflix kind of prices in India. So there is inevitably some reliance on supplementing the subscription revenues with some ad revenues. But in the long run, I think we will have more and more of pure subscription revenues and very little of advertising.
No, I mean, this was more from the standpoint that, I saw, IPL on Hotstar actually has quite a bit of ads. So that's why I was just asking this.
No, you're right. In fact, if you remember in the very beginning when Hotstar just launched, there were not too many ads. Today, because they can't charge more than 19 rupees or whatever, which has been mandated, they are hiking up the ads in OTT as well. So it's a completely different ball game internationally. Premium sports pricing is very high, and you get to see those things without any ads. But in India, I think it'll take some time before things change.
Okay. Next question. I just wanted to know, now that, primarily subscription revenue is basically, a la carte based, do you foresee, an increase in, subscription pricing per, let's say, popular channel going forward? Let's say you have these 8 blockbuster movies premiering on Sun TV. So will you be able to increase your cost on some, monthly cost?
You're right. Ideally we should, but today the government rules come in the way of free pricing. But I agree with you.
So primarily, you are looking more from, increasing your subscriber base as of now to compensate for all the costs that are involved.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. In fact, my own view is we should have free pricing, and that's what will make the market more efficient.
Right. Got it. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is from Siddharth Bera from Nomura. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, first question on the production on the movies. So, possible to highlight a broad budget which we will have for these 8 movies?
Cumulatively, I think it should be close to range of 300 to 400 crores.
Okay. 300 crores, and safe to assume the last part will only be spent next year?
Yes.
Okay, got it, sir. Second question again on the ad side. So you have very well explained how we are planning to increase in Tamil. But if I see in the other genres also, there has been some slippage in the ratings. So any thought on that? What is the plan there? And what about the Marathi channel also, which we were planning to launch? Any updates on that?
No, it's all Marathi is work in progress. We will let you know once we firm up the plan. But if you look at, we are very happy to share the tremendous growth we have witnessed in the Bengal market. Initially, we were hovering at around 25-30 GRPs. Now we have become a strong number 3 channel. We are close to 130 GRPs. So we have a lot of plans of launching new programming in the Bengal market and strengthening our position. And similarly, you will see high-profile shows getting launched in all the other markets, which will enable us to regain the share substantially. It's there in the plan, and more so because I think we don't have much of movies which are getting released. So to that extent, we are also saving a lot of money on the amortization. We thought that I think we will plow back some portion of that into the programming, which will be more impactful. So we have more or less lined up some shows. When we speak up next quarter, you will see some high-profile shows getting launched in all the markets, which will enable us to increase the viewership share.
So would it be fair to assume that our content cost from next quarter should come back to earlier normal levels, or it will continue to remain low?
No, it will be normal. It will be back to normal levels.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next question is from Manju Shroff from MS Capital Inc. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Congratulations on a great set of numbers. I wanted to know on your non-FMCG mix, as you said, FMCG was 65, so non-FMCG as a share of advertising was 35. What was it last year, or what was it on pre-COVID?
Now, I can give you some broad indicators like FMCG is 68%, e-commerce is 6%, automobile consumer durable is 8%, retail is 5%.
I wanted actually a comparison.
I don't have the comparison. I think you can get in touch with us. We will share the data.
Right. Okay. And you're saying that the new shows separately, on the new shows that you just launched in the Q2, the Q2 primetime ratings in your Tamil channel, which had fallen down to 38%, you're saying that has recovered back to 45-50 now?
Yeah. No, we have seen the respective slots growing from 30 to 50%. So, and if you look at this week's our overall fiction numbers, I think it's tracking very well. We have sort of very close to the pre-COVID levels. We are close to 620 GRPs in fiction. And we will, like I said, we have a very strong pipeline. So some of the weak slots will get replaced and existing slots will further get strengthened. And we will quickly bounce back to 45+% in terms of the viewership share.
Very good. Just one last question. On the OTT, as you said, no incremental cost has been going into it. So if you look at it, 200 crore incremental cost that will go into it, that's around a 6% margin impact. So is Sun TV as a management okay with operating at 50% operating margins in the next year forward?
In OTT?
Yeah, I mean, so currently, if you assume that there is no additional content cost, so around 200 crores that you plan to invest in it, right now it must be falling into EBITDA. That will be reinvested, so the EBITDA margin should fall back to 60%.
You're saying when we invest 200 crores in OTT, you're asking whether that will have an impact on the EBITDA margin? Is that your question?
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes. Okay. Right. Now, because we've always operated at 65-70% EBITDA margins, so the new trajectory should be in the 60% range.
It's not that simplistic because we will also see some growth in subscriptions as a result of investment. So there's lots of moving parts here. So you can't look at something in a vacuum.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next participant is Yogesh Karve from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. So regarding the prioritizing of the film investment, so the theatrical system, the theatrical ecosystem, will take some time to normalize. So globally, as we have seen in the countries which are not so much impacted by COVID, even there the box office collections are quite low. So in light of that, I mean, wouldn't it make sense to prioritize some other investments compared to film investments at the moment?
See, as I said, we are keeping a very careful watch on the whole scene. If it makes more financial sense to do a direct release through digital, we'd only do whatever is good for the company. I mean, I just said that our strategy will be to take the entire investment back with a slender profit and sell it to distributors, and then keep the digital rights and the satellite broadcast rights. That's the model which has worked very well for us, from Sarkar to Peta to all the other movies that we made. But who knows? I mean, if there is a second wave of COVID, God forbid it, and if the whole thing goes into a lockdown, we'll have to look at alternate ways of doing business. But it doesn't look like that now, because, I just saw this morning they've increased the capacity for private airlines to 70% now. Till the other day it was 50%. And now they're saying that all the flights are running full because people want to go and see their loved ones during Diwali. So if things get better, we should be doing the business the traditional way. But if things go bad, we may have to do something different. It's too early to say which way things are going to, change.
Okay, fair enough. Just wanted your thoughts on that.
We are very, very sensitive to this whole issue. So at the end of the day, this business, this company will keep humming as long as there is a constant flow of content from the factory to our customers. Whether we reach that customer through a cable or through satellite or through internet or through physical delivery, we have to be open to all options now.
Okay. Thanks for that. The second question I had regarding our television business and Tamil, obviously the gap lead versus number 2 has sort of come off a little bit. I appreciate whatever you said related to the shows that we have, show programming lineup that we are working with. But are you looking at anything from a longer term or a strategic perspective? Sometime back we are looking at something like Sun Life. Obviously that didn't shape up so well, but anything along those lines, or altering the content mix in terms of more of a non-fiction. So anything that we are working from a longer term or strategic perspective to consolidate our share over there?
No, we're constantly reinventing the program mix. There was a time when we had only fiction. Now we have so much of non-fiction, like, the singing competitions and all that, which are all very well received, Sun Singer and all those programs. Also within the fiction category itself, it used to be a typical middle-class home with family drama. We have, innovated. We have some thrillers. We have some comedy. We have some fantasy. We have mythology. Mythology was never part of the programming mix, at least in the prime time, some time back. And today we have a lot of mythology also coming, because there is a market for that. So whatever is required to be done to cater to evolving tastes and preferences, we will have to do it. If it means doing some other talk show or some other kind of game show, or I don't know what. I'm not an expert in programming, but we have people who understand the pulse of the audience, and they'll keep innovating as times go by. In fact, we were the first in regional TV to come out with the Kaun Banega Crorepati equivalent. We had a Kotishwaran, which was hosted by Sharat Kumar. So we've always done whatever the market has dictated, and at our own terms, without compromising on our margins, without compromising on various other things.
Sure. And so just a final thing, so I'm sorry if I got it wrong. So did we at one point say that our October, our ad revenues were 80% of normal? Because sometimes at other points we also said that on season to season basis, on per day basis, we are already back to the last year's level. So a little confused on that.
Mahesh did mention that things are coming to near normal. That is more what shall I say, more to give you a trend that things are in fact inventories are also running full up. That's because of the festive demand picking up. So we did say that, yes.
And October was 80% of pre-COVID level, is it?
About 80% of pre-COVID.
Okay, sure, sir. Thanks for all the responses and all the best.
Thank you very much. So, would you like to take another question?
I think we should take just one last question, and then we can draw it to a close.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last question from the line of Ankit Kedia from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
So just wanted to know on the OTT investments. So can we assume that 200 crore investment on content would happen next year itself on the OTT side of the business, or is it spread over 18 to 24 months?
No, we think we can invest around that kind of money next fiscal. Yeah.
And you also mentioned that if we spend that, we would not be doing a loss. So the run rate of revenue you expect to be around 200 crores next year, plus minus something on the OTT side.
Yeah, see, this is more to tell you that we didn't want to throw money in the early days and splurge on content. Doesn't make any sense to spend money and report a string of losses. So we have now stabilized the run rate with multiple sources of sales. We are selling our content to telcos, to other OTT players. We also have some regular subscribers who have come through the app or through the website and giving us 50 rupees a month, and much higher in other markets like Singapore, Malaysia, US. So we are now at a stage where our revenue streams are sufficient enough to spend that kind of money. Just to say that today we'll be able to spend on originals and not report some outrageous sums of money as losses. So there's more to give an indication that this is the way we are looking at the whole OTT strategy. Yeah, so we should be able to spend that kind of money without derailing the standalone P&L of the Sun Next OTT.
Sure. And so currently, the ad revenue from the OTT business would be around 20-25%, or would be much less?
Very small sum of money here. Very small sum of money.
Okay. Understood. That is it from my side, sir. Thank you so much, and happy Diwali to the team, sir.
Same to you, Ankit. All the very best.
And happy Diwali to all.
Happy Diwali to all our investors. May Goddess Mahalakshmi bless all of us.
Thank you very much.
Ankur?
Sir, thank you, Mahesh sir. Thank you, Anisha. Wish you and everyone in your family and your team a very happy Diwali as well.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Ankur. Thank you.
All the best, Ankur.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, friends. Happy Diwali to you all. Thank you.